Hey, wrestling fans, this is the world's most dangerous announcer, Gary Michael Capetta, and you're with Count Out with Mike and Tyler.
This episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler is provided by Cottage Spring.
You are listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals. And with the help of my lovely fiance, Victoria, let us welcome you to another edition of the Bill Apter Sealed of Approved, provided by Cottage Springs, Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. And it's really weird this week to say this, but I'm joined as always by the one and only Mike. Mike.
What's this as always shit?
Well, not lately, I guess.
we just mentioned off air. This is the first time you and I are doing a show together in a month.
Yeah.
I don't think we've gone a week or two before, but a month. My God. But here we are.
Guess who's back in the motherfucking house?
It got so bad that I could have been on the show last week, but you called me up and you're like, you know what? I'd rather do it with nobody.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite episode I've ever done. I had no one to tell me how wrong I was.
I start doing them alone.
Well, we'll see.
The list I put together today, I'm starting to wish I'm going to be doing it alone, because I know we're going to be straight back to form this week with you hating my list.
Well, I was going to say,
that's why some people listen, though. I guarantee Rob has been missing the list. We haven't done a list in a month.
Yeah, Rob gets mad when we don't do lists.
Rob gets very mad when we don't do lists. So he was probably happy, because he's like, when he saw it last week, he probably figured, okay, good. No guest, no interview. Gonna have a list.
Oh, last week was probably his least favorite episode ever, because he refers to me as the Marty Jannetty of our show all the time.
That's so funny.
So
I would say that the episode I did with Matt a few weeks ago would have been his least favorite. But I can't say that if nobody listened to the episode.
Yeah, I mean, Matt's great. You guys put on a great show, but I'm a wrestling guy, I like my wrestling. But like I said last week, which in the very unique episode of Count It Out that I put out last week for you and I, things are getting a little better now. Things are working out. You have your new work schedule. Your transition is complete. You have a new schedule, and it is very beneficial for the podcast.
We'll see if it stays like that.
Yeah,
for the next month or so, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you gave me the shout out last week. It was funny because I didn't tell anybody other than my immediate family and the people that I worked with at Kelsey's. Nobody knew I got another job. I didn't post it on Facebook. I didn't, you know what I mean? So the day that you dropped that episode last Thursday, right away I get a text from Matt going, new job? I'm like, well, Matt listens to the show.
So I'm assuming that Danny Franchise didn't send you a message then.
No, Danny has no idea. I'm surprised if Danny knows I have a podcast.
I think maybe just because I'm on it, he might know.
But yeah, it's working out well. I'm at a new restaurant. I have yet to pull the Houdini card that you were able to do. I haven't escaped the restaurant industry entirely like you did, but I'm in a different place, very different style of restaurant. I have to dress and act like an adult.
That's tough.
I wear a suit to work.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a suit guy. I start calling you Cody Rhodes.
Right?
Gonna have a neck tattoo next week and dye your hair blonde.
Exactly. I mean, I've done the blonde hair thing in my younger years. Maybe I could get away with the neck tattoo. We'll see.
Pictures. I need to see pictures immediately.
Have you never seen pictures of me with the bleach blonde hair?
I try not to look at lots of stuff you do.
not pretty.
That's going to be fun, though. We got a fun week lined up. We got a good show lined up. We got the top 7 SummerSlam main events that you'll be counting down. And
Yeah, well, I figured I
and then
noticed.
as this airs, we will be one day away from heading up north for a cottage for my bachelor party.
Yes, sir.
Maybe the return of Count It Out After Dark.
No,
We'll see.
no. Count it out after dark anywhere within the vicinity of Wilson is a bad idea.
We might get flagged. That is correct.
Bad idea. Oh God, no. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. It's gonna be a drunk-tastic time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of us going out to the middle of nowhere and just it's gonna be us and a whole pile of booze.
And Count It Out After Dark.
No. Bad
Count It
idea.
Out After Dark with Jess Wilson.
As long as he doesn't do it on the oh God. This has already gone off the rails. Yeah, no, you mentioned me doing the SummerSlam list this week. I figured it wasn't too late because it was as of the day that this is being put out on Thursday, it'd be August the 15th, and at least 2 SummerSlams have happened on August the 15th in the past. So I figured what a good time to drop a SummerSlam list. We dropped the ball last year. We didn't do a single SummerSlam list last year. I didn't want to go 2 years without one. So I was an idiot and I started watching matches at about 9 o'clock last night. No, later than that, more like 11 o'clock last night, forgetting that I had to work at 11 o'clock this morning.
Gross.
And I was up till about 4:30 in the morning watching wrestling. And still didn't watch all the matches. I watched a couple more on the bus ride to work, a couple more on the bus ride home from work, a couple on my break. Watched a lot of wrestling in the last not even 24 hours.
Well, and for our listeners and our viewers, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe as well. But I didn't know what our list was till this morning. I text Mike and I was like, "Hey man, what's the list?" "Oh, I'm doing the best SummerSlam main events of all time." I'm like, "Well, that could be something that I would have liked to have known in advance to research a little bit, but I'm gonna fly by the seat of my pants
By the time I
today."
figured that out, you were in bed. So that's where I kind of want to start today. I'm sure that
You gotta
we
start
have
with
a
me
few
in bed.
things.
I know you've missed me, Mike.
Yes. I'm sure we have a few things to talk about. I'm hoping you have a pitch out of the week. But before we get there, I want to talk about something that came up while I was working on this list. I told you off air I want to talk about a certain wrestler that I have no love for. And I'm going to explain why. While doing this list, as you know, when I do my research, I look at many other people's lists. What Culture, Sportster, Sportkedia, whenever they put out lists, I like to check out just to see what they're thinking while I work on mine. A lot of times mine does not match theirs, but I like to see what's going on. And there's one match that kept making the top 5 lists. And it is nowhere close to my list. I rewatched it today and I just shook my head. And I want to see your thoughts on it. So already spoilers. I'm telling you all a match that's not going to be on my list today because I want to talk about one of the members of the match. The match you will not see on my list. I apologize because I can't remember the year off the top of my head.
Oh,
but
09.
it was CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy in a
Believe
ladder
it.
match.
I think it was 09 or somewhere around there.
How
11.
did you know that's where I was going?
Well, because you told me you want to talk about Jeff Hardy off air. And
Oh, okay. All right.
maybe it was 2011.
Yeah, 11, I think, strikes a chord in the back. No, 11 was him and Cena.
So it would have been
Cena.
it would have CM Punk. Well, let's look it up. You talk and I'll find the date.
So here's my thing. I have nothing against Jeff Hardy, really, and the Hardy Boys are a fantastic tag team. But I'm that guy who never enjoyed Jeff Hardy's single runs. Not in TNA, not in WWE. I never saw Jeff as a main eventer. And that's why this match horrible? No.
09, nailed it.
There you go. It's not a horrible match, but it's not, number one, it doesn't even make my top 15 best ladder matches. nor does it make my best main events, because as far as I'm concerned, that's not a main event quality match, because he's not a main event quality wrestler. I never thought so, and to this day, I still don't think so. So here's two things I want to talk to you about. Number one, what was your thoughts on this ladder match? Does it hold up as a great ladder match? Does it hold up as a great main event? And I want to know your thoughts on main event Jeff Hardy.
I'm with you on the Jeff Hardy thing. I don't think he's a main eventer. Like I could see him being a world champion, but not like the guy. You
No,
know what I mean? Like, and they did that. They put the world title on him, and he was never the guy. But
never.
you know, like I look at him like a Damian Priest. I didn't think Damian Priest was the guy either, but he was fine to put a world title on. He's over enough. Like, you know, Jeff Hardy's super over. He's got especially back then, dedicated fan base, but he's not the guy. Like, he's not a John Cena. He's not a Undertaker, a Triple H. He's like that right underneath like the guy. You know, he's like about as high as a mid card as you
Yeah,
can get. He's a what's that famous line? He's a solid B plus player,
sure.
right? First ballot Hall of Famer, 100%. One of the greatest tag
Well,
teams of all time.
I think he's a Hall of Famer with the Hardy Boys, but
Yeah.
I've never sat down and said, "Wow, that was an amazing Jeff Hardy singles match."
He just always had fine matches. There's not like a standout match where it's like, whoa, like that was incredible.
No,
But
his
he
standout
but he never
matches are the
stunk out.
shitty ones.
He didn't, yeah, but he also like wouldn't go out there and stink out the joint either. He was just a solid hand.
Unless he
He's
was really, really high.
well, yeah, he had his
And he was
demons,
facing
right?
Sting.
He had some issues for sure. He did, and you know the famous wrestling demons line. But when Jeff was on his game, like I would love to have Jeff Hardy, you know, minus demons on my roster any day of the week because he adds something different to your roster. He's unique. He's crazy. You know, him and Randy Orton had good stuff, and the CM Punk stuff. The feud was fantastic.
The feud was great.
The match.
I think CM Punk did 92% of the work in that feud.
Well, yeah, Jeff was
But the
on his
feud
way
was
out. They didn't like each other, and Jeff was on his way out. The match is fine. It's not. It wouldn't make my list for SummerSlam main events. It probably wouldn't make
your ladder match list.
no, but that's not because it's not a good match. I think it's fine. Like there's some good spots in it. They tell a good story in it. However, there's just some incredible ladder matches that have happened, and this one just isn't as good as the other ones. It's not that it's a bad ladder match. It's a fine ladder match.
It's definitely not bad.
It's just not list. It's not list worthy.
I guess I was just very surprised that I saw it on 3 different people's lists in very high spots.
Yeah, well, that's why their lists are less credible than our list, Mike. It's SummerSlam time. You know that we're all about credibility during SummerSlam shows.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
I'm defending you.
Mm-hmm.
How about we keep on the credibility trend and we throw it to our punch out of the week?
Let's do that.
And now, the Cottage Springs punch out of the week. Find your favorite flavors at cottagesprings.ca. My Cottage Spring punch out of the week is a little bit different this week because it's not something that happened on TV. It's not an angle. It's not a match. It's a moment and an announcement. Scott D'Amore is back, and he is bringing us Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
The only place Scott D'Amore will be back is in a courtroom when I sue him over the rights of Maple Leaf Pro.
Well, to be fair, people needed to watch that one. Mike and I, about 3 years ago, did our fantasy drafts and decided, hey, you know, it'd be fun. Let's just mock book wrestling shows. And we had a blast doing it. And
it was fun.
And we had a blast doing it.
Ever.
But yeah, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Scott D'Amore announced his first set of tapings. Very interesting names on the tapings.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal, great get.
Of course.
But very interesting and not surprising, but also surprising to see Josh Alexander, Giselle Shaw, Kushida, all TNA contracted talents.
Exactly. Now, there's been a lot of speculation. What was his relationship like when he left Anthem / TNA?
Didn't sound good.
it didn't sound great, but
He talked about it this week, right?
right. But let's be careful on that, because what he said in the interview does not reflect what the dirt sheets are trying to push out.
Yes.
The headlines that are being pushed are extremely misconceiving.
Of course they are. No, a wrestling dirt sheet.
Very, very clickbaity.
No.
It's being led to believe that he's saying that he was treated poorly by Anthem and TNA before he left. He never said that in that interview.
He just knew he was getting fired, and he went to work knowing he's getting fired. Shitty feeling. Business, though. Business. But I mean, if you're going to work and you know you're getting fired, obviously there's some tension there. Let's be fair.
Of course.
Right? And everyone wondered, what's the next move for Scott D'Amore? Everyone's like, AEW, jump on him. Everyone's like, NXT, get him.
Yeah.
How about just give him Ring of Honor and let him work magic with it? But Scotty had other plans, and he waited, and he's being paid a lot of money to wait, and he is reviving Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling and their YouTube page. He's got rights to some of the old footage from back in the Tunney days.
Yes,
whatever's left.
The WWE owns quite a bit of it.
Well, no, it's not in existence anymore. And I want to talk about that with a person I'm hoping to get on our show in the next couple of weeks, a gentleman by the name of Mike Clark, who's promoting all those wonderful CNE events. But Mike Clark was told by Jack Tunney, I don't know if it's Jack Tunney specifically, but by somebody in the office of Tunney Videos when they closed down, here's all the original tapes. Go throw them out. And he did. He disposed of all of them. So whatever's left out there is whatever's left out there. They would tape over tapes. Like, there's not a lot of Maple Leaf Gardens footage out there.
I wonder if Tunney did that just to spite Vince.
Well, this was before tape libraries and buyouts were a big thing, right? I think it was just the time frame. Like, you don't realize the value in something like that, right? But he's got some of that. He's been also using Border City Wrestling footage on the YouTube page as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see this. First set of tapings is going to be in the middle of October. Tickets are going on sale this week, I believe.
Yeah, and they're doing it at St. Clair's College in Windsor, the same place where you and I got to witness
the greatest wrestling match to ever happen.
Fights.
Reversal versus Johnny Swinger.
And I believe last year's Slammiversary.
Doesn't matter.
Was also from
Reversal. Was Reversal and Swinger on that card? Then it doesn't matter.
Will you stop it?
I'll have you thrown out of here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Great punch out of the week, because 100% I'm excited about this. Anything Scott touches, I'm a fan of. Scotty D'Amore, I think, is one of the geniuses of our time. I really do.
I agree, and I'm more curious to see. It's such a unique time, and Scotty's really well loved by a lot of people. Josh is the trainer at his school. Yeah. Kushida was broken in by him.
Came up I'm sorry, what's it called? Can-Am?
Yeah.
He came up in the Can-Am school. But so did many wrestlers that you don't think of right away. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Machine Guns not come up?
No, they were trained. They were not exactly brought up in there, but they definitely got noticed, and that Border City was a huge part of the Machine Guns, for sure. But yeah, like, I'm excited. I want to know, is there going to be TV? Is it going to be online? I've heard Fight TV is going to be a thing. 2 nights of tapings. Is it going to be a weekly show? Is it going to be a monthly show? I just am really excited. How much does he have backers? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm hoping he's taking the money that because rumor, well, not rumor, he flat out said this, that he had offered to buy TNA. He went out, he found backers, he found investors to buy TNA, and they didn't want to sell. I'm hoping that he's using these same funds, the same amount of money to run Maple Leaf Pro, so that we can have a fighting chance for this company.
Yeah, I think Scotty's smart enough, and Scotty said it best. TNA was dead when he got there, so he knows how to run on a budget.
Yep.
And if anyone's going to do it, Scotty's the guy to do it. So, and who knows if it's going to get us a wrestling event at Maple Leaf Gardens again down the line
Yeah,
with that ramp, bring the ramp.
you got to get the ramp.
I'm all for it, but I'm excited to see where it goes. That's why that is my Cottage Spring punch out of the week. But we have more stuff to talk about. I don't know what. We have a list. We have a list. I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on in wrestling right now. Like it's kind of like
And there's even less because I have not, because of my new job, I have had very little time to watch wrestling. On top of my actual work hours, I've been spending my spare time getting ready for this job. I was working both jobs for a little bit. I was spending time studying for this new job. It's a very different menu that I'm used to. It's not your I can say it now. It's not your fucking cookie cutter throw shit together, Americana menu like Kelsey's was. This is handmade, farm to table, from scratch, by a chef, Italiana food. This is the real deal. My entire menu is in Italian. So
mancha.
I had to really crack down. So I have been very busy for the last couple of weeks. I have watched little to no wrestling. I've got to see a little tiny bit of SummerSlam.
It's really selfish of you, Mike.
Very
to neglect your needy child over here.
Well, and that's it. All my little bit of spare time I've spent with my other children.
Damn.
The one that came before you, and the one and the one that came after you.
Yeah, I'm the middle child, so I need the most attention.
You are the middle child. Oh God.
No, that's good. It's exciting stuff, and I counted out. We got through. We got our shows up, and we got plans. Mike and I have made a list. We're gonna start reaching out to some guests. Gonna revamp the whole concept again.
I want to throw out. I've been wanting to do this for weeks, and I haven't got a chance. I have something. I have a throw out to do.
A throw out. Mike's gone. He's throwing stuff out. Like what, in the garbage? A shout out?
Shout out, not a throw out.
It's gonna be.
Let's give some love to Ben Ortman's.
Yeah, I like me some Ben Ortman's. It's his birthday.
I gotta give a shout out to our listener, our greatest listener, our friend Rob.
No, we're not shouting him out again. We already put him over. He's mean to me.
Well, I'm doing it anyways. About a year ago, I spent money. I reached out to this great designer, the guy who did our first t-shirt, to get a new design done. And we've been able to
do our third t-shirt.
And we've been able to do very little with it, with the design, because of people are afraid of copyright issues. Finally, something really cool was done with design. And our friend Rob sent you and I these really cool tumblers.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. You still have mine. Oh, that's mine? Bring it up on the weekend. I'll drink out of it all weekend.
See at the bottom?
Oh, TCO. Fuck. That's sick, Rob. Good man. That's sick. Rob sent me a picture of these.
Yeah, they're very cool. I love them. I've been drinking out of mine pretty much every single day.
I will drink out of mine for my entire bachelor party.
Yes, you will.
And as long as you don't forget to bring it.
No, I'll bring it.
And
I haven't seen you since you sent it to me.
I guess, Rob, you can call me Marty Jannetty for another year around the sun then.
Rob did something else really cool too. He sent me a box. He says, "Hey, just want you to know that in the box there's the 2 coffee tumblers." He goes, "That's for you and Tyler." So thanks, man. That's really nice. He goes, "Everything else in the box belongs to your son." So what? So I opened the box. The dude sent like 5 or 6 really good, really, really awesome action figures and an awesome Rey Mysterio mask for my son.
Oh, I think Rob meant to give that to me.
Because he's heard me talk about my son's love for wrestling on the show. So that was super cool. You have made that kid so happy, Rob. He plays with them pretty much every single day. I keep putting the Mysterio mask back on the mannequin head. I allow him to have it in his room. And then every other day I go back and the mask is not on the mannequin head. So I guarantee he's wearing it. Yeah, very cool stuff.
I'm getting middle child syndrome again, hearing all this.
Sorry.
That's going to be WrestleMania next year, Finn versus TCO. I'm doing the job, brother.
You want
He's
to keep?
gonna, he's
Do you
gonna
want to keep
shoot.
want to keep the negativity going and get into my list?
Oh, possibly. Top 7 SummerSlam main events.
I'm gonna piss you off right off that start with number 7.
Go
Make
away
me
again.
so mad
You
right
know,
from the beginning. So
I
mad.
I went on record last week and said that I missed you, and I wasn't even drunk. And I just, I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm stressed now. I have a headache. Mike is back.
Oh, you're gonna be fine. You never like my order, so
Yeah,
you'll hate my order.
you're
But
halfway
you'll be
there.
fine
You're
with
Bon
my match.
Jovi.
You'll be fine with my match selections from 1 to 6,
We'll see.
but you're going to hate my number 7. And I'm okay with that because of how much I love this match. So let's start it off
Rip the bandage off.
with one of the most talked about main events in SummerSlam history. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't care, because it is honestly one of the most entertaining matches I've ever seen in my life. We are talking about the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels versus the immortal Hulk Hogan.
I don't hate this at all. I'm one of the few people that actually likes this match.
Really?
I love this
I'm so
match.
surprised and happy. I absolutely adore this match.
Listen,
I get people only want to talk about it because of the controversy behind it and because of Michael's overselling. But if you really break down the match, number one, it's probably Hulk Hogan's best match ever.
up there.
And it's really, really good. And it's entertaining as hell.
This checks off a huge box for me. Does it feel like a main event?
Damn right it did.
Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, two of the biggest stars ever. First time ever matchup. Yeah, you're fucking right. This is worthy to be a SummerSlam main event. And yeah, Shawn threw his little boo-boo hissy fit because Hogan threw his "that doesn't work for me" brother bullshit out there. And you saw what two of the biggest children and politicers in the history of professional wrestling can do unsupervised.
The history of WWE clashed here, but what we got out of it was pretty damn good.
There's really just only one sell that I hated in this match, and it was the big boot sell.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I thought that was really awful. Like, the rest of it, yeah, he oversold, but he also, like, made Hogan look like he was fucking He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Hogan bled buckets. Like, you gotta remember, too, where Hogan's age was at this time period.
Yeah, he was in his 50s, like
He
late
has
50s.
no business having a match. And Hogan, obviously he's not going toe-to-toe with Shawn Michaels, but he held his own, and he did what he needed to do. And the people went crazy, and yeah, this is a great spot for this match. If the match was like, if Shawn wasn't as goofy in this match, I could see this being a top 5 match.
I also love the build to this match. It was Shawn's only heel run during his, let's call it his second career. His post 2002 career. And man, did he make the most of it, because he was only heel for the summer. And I remember I attended the Raw. Was it the go home?
Yeah, it was.
It was the go home right before SummerSlam in Montreal. And man, did Shawn know how to get heat.
Man, everyone thought they were going to turn it into a triple threat.
Yeah, 100%. It was so good. The dark match that night after the Raw went off the air, was a great tag match between Hogan, Cena versus JBL and Hogan, or JBL and Michaels.
That's fun.
Yeah, fun as hell. Loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Wait, speaking of tag matches, can you hear that? We want Zeus. We want Zeus. The people are chanting for Zeus.
Not talking about Zeus.
SummerSlam 89. I can't wait for you to bring it up. We want Zeus.
Well, we're not going to talk about 89, but we will talk about 09. I was going
to say, hold on a sec. You just went on a big rant about 09.
No, it's not 09. It's I didn't write down the year.
I'll tell it to you.
We're talking about It's very, very fresh in the feud, very the beginning of a feud that people loved and then hated and then loved again. We're talking about the Viper Randy Orton versus John Cena.
07. It's a great match. People
Thank you. It's a
forget
great
about this match.
because people really got sick of seeing Cena and Orton together, after they had so many matches. It is one of my favorite feuds ever. Like I think Randy is definitely up there as far as feuds with Cena.
Yeah, 07.
But this match was very early on in their feuds.
I think this might have been their first pay-per-view main event.
Yeah, I don't think that you're wrong.
Here's how I know that this was a good match. I have not rewatched this match since probably 2007. And I remember it being an awesome match. So if you hold up all those years later after one watch, then yeah, that's a good match. If my memory is like, damn, that was a great match, that's my bar. I'm really disappointed though, Mike. I was really hoping to hate your list more.
Hey, we got 5 more to go, man.
Fucking right.
We got 5 more to go. Though you're not gonna hate this one because I guarantee you're gonna love the match. Whether or not you like the placement of it, who knows? We'll find out. But my number 5, we're jumping to 2011, and we're going back to John Cena, but this time he's against CM Punk.
Okay, now let me ask you a question here.
Yeah.
Is this the main event of the show?
Was it not?
Well, there was a Money in the Bank cash in after. So technically,
I don't. Okay, then I have. Well, I'm not going to ruin anything else, but no. Yes, it is the main event. It was billed as the main event. Just because there's a match afterwards doesn't make that the main event. This was billed as the main event. The main event is what you're selling your card on.
Hey, Triple H and Jericho was still the main event, brother.
Triple H and Jericho was the main event.
WrestleMania 18. But everyone cared about Hogan. And
yeah, well, I'm not asking what people cared about. I'm saying what you promoted as your main event. This was the main event of that show. I don't care that there was a match afterwards. It was an impromptu match. That doesn't count. Worst case scenario, you can count it as part of the main event. But there was a cash in after this one?
Yeah, this is the one where Kevin Nash returned and then Alberto Del Rio cashed in.
All right, well, I'm going to be honest with you. And when I rewatched it, they cut that part off on the YouTube thing. So I totally forgot about that. Yeah, it ends as... it ends right at the end of the match.
Was this the finish where Punk had his foot on the rope?
Yeah.
Or Cena had his foot on the rope?
Yeah.
I've never watched this match, in all honesty.
Okay. Go back.
Yeah, these guys have great matches together, so
I'm wondering if there's a correlation between Triple H refereeing Cena matches and cash-ins.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm hoping we're going to talk about another one in a minute.
There seems to be a correlation there. Okay, not a whole lot I can talk about the match since you haven't seen it, but I'd like you to go back and watch it.
I would like to watch this match, and especially like with Cena coming back for his retirement tour and Punk being...
how much of a fan you are. I'm actually surprising.
I just wasn't... I didn't have access to watch at the time, and I wasn't going to order it on pay-per-view at the time. I didn't have... there was no network yet and all that stuff.
In 11?
If there was, I didn't have it.
Yeah, there was.
I didn't get
it was still in its infancy, but
I don't know if we had availability in Canada.
We may not have had it in Canada, actually.
But I didn't get the network until Sting debuted. That was enough for me to be like, all right, here's my money.
Gotcha. Moving on, a match that we just alluded to. We're going to my number 4, and we are talking about John Cena versus Daniel Bryan.
Ugh, I hate that I like your list.
This match... I know I've seen it before, but I don't remember being as good as it was last night.
An incredible match.
Holy crap. And I'll tell you why. I think in 13, I was still in my hate Daniel Bryan phase. I'm not a fan of the Daniel Bryan style. The kicking, you know what I mean? The shoot style. Never been a fan. To this day, I'm not a fan, but I respect him a lot more than I used to. I have a different sort of respect 10 years later than I did in 2013. So I think I was able to watch the match in a different mindset, and I really respected the match for what it was, especially knowing where they were going to go after this. They were going to have this great match. They were going to drop the ball almost, and then realize, oh shit, we're dropping the ball, and then they fixed it. Everything that happened between SummerSlam and WrestleMania is so interesting to me, because Daniel Bryan, from in this period of time, just becomes the WWE sweetheart. He really does.
And it started before this as well. Like the whole storyline to this match was, it's basically a copy of what we're getting with Cody right now, but different. Like Cody Rhodes to Kevin Owens, it's like, you're my friend, you get a title shot. John Cena got to pick his opponent for SummerSlam. And this was famously after many yes movements where the crowd hijacked segments that Daniel Bryan was a part of. That contract signing segment with Triple H and Cena and Orton. That was all around this time period.
Yeah.
And Cena was the champ, and the whole crowd wanted it, and nobody believed it would happen. I think we all thought we were going to get Randy Orton again, in all honesty.
Absolutely.
And he said Daniel Bryan, and they had a great build to this match. Like Vince was involved with it, saying, no, he's not championship material. You can't do it. Triple H was sticking up for Daniel Bryan. Cena and Bryan, if you can go back and find it, I want to say it was the Go Home Show, had this incredible face-to-face promo where Bryan was like, I don't respect you. And like Cena slapped him in the face. And he's like, I come from Japan. Like, if I slap you in the face, it means I respect you, and I will not slap you in the face. Like, it was like an amazing promo. And then these guys tore the house down. Then they shot a hot angle after.
They beat the shit out of each other. John leaves the match with a shiner.
Yeah.
Just a hell of a shiner. And we discussed this in the last match, how I alluded to Triple H can't referee a match unless there's a cash-in afterwards. But this is one of my favorite cash-ins.
It's so good.
I'm going to tell you why. Because they teased it. They gave Daniel Bryan enough time in the ring with the confetti and the respect shown from John Cena, the respect shown from Triple H. They gave him all that time with the music playing, that even if you thought maybe Randy was going to come out, you were done with that thought. It was long enough. They're like, okay, he's not going to. Then Randy's music hits. And instead of playing the weak victim, the guy who just got the shit beat out of him for half an hour, Bryan stood up and said, all right, let's do this. And in pure chicken shit heel tactic, Randy said, no, and started walking away. And of course, that's when Bryan eats a pedigree. Randy gets back in the ring. You thought for sure that we weren't going to get the cash in. We got it. I absolutely loved everything about this angle.
This whole pay-per-view is fantastic.
This is what leads to the reforming of Evolution. What leads to
no, it was like the corporation kind of. Evolution came a little later.
Yeah, but I'm saying eventually though, because this is him and Randy forming again, and then in time Batista comes back, and and then which leads to the the bullshit at the Royal Rumble, which leads to the Yes Movement blowing up bigger than it ever had, and getting to WrestleMania. I know what you said. It started before SummerSlam, and I know that, but I feel like the seeds were really intact here.
Well, it's funny though, like the seeds were super intact here in August, and then by the end of the year they were not. Like the crowd, like they buried.
By shortly after Survivor Series, they were treating Daniel Bryan like any other jobber again.
Well, yeah, because they had him like this feud with Orton went nowhere. Like they Shawn Michaels.
And then he ended up doing the stuff with Bray, right?
He went to the Brave stuff, which was awesome after. But they had like Shawn Michaels cost him a match, and they had like the Big
Oh,
Show.
yeah.
Remember the Big Show randomly interfered in a pay-per-view main event for no reason? Like it got really bad after this, and then Punk left, and it got good again. And Punk and Brock Lesnar had a banger of a match on this card too.
I'd have to go back and rewatch that. Yeah.
Oh, I highly recommend that.
Speaking of bangers. So let me tell you something, Tyler. I had a really bad summer.
Zeus.
I had a really bad summer a few years back, and I had to really focus on family. We had a big loss in our family, and then I had to take a step back from my entire life, really focus on a few things, really focus on my wife. And wrestling took a big backseat, and I didn't watch WrestleMania, or I didn't watch SummerSlam in the year 2017. And until last night, I had never seen this match. And on paper, knowing the style of wrestling that I like, on paper, Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns sounds like it's going to be a fucking shit show.
It sounds like it's just going to be like a fine match. You know what I mean?
I was never the biggest Braun fan, to be perfectly honest.
I hate Braun.
And
but Braun at this time period was really awesome.
And pre Bloodline Roman Reigns never did it for me either. So on paper, this match, not so much. My God, dude. Am I ever happy I watched it? It turned into one of my favorite matches so fast.
I just remember, like, I haven't watched this match since it aired also, but I just remember, like, the bell rang and it was just unreal.
Yeah. It's only about 25 minutes long. It's 25 minutes of pure violence.
Pandemonium.
You can say all you want that you hate Braun Strowman.
He was awesome at this time, though.
Goddamn, did they book him right in this?
Yes, they did. They booked him right during this whole time period. They
booked him like the next massive star, the next big thing, if you'll forgive the pun. And you're gonna have to credit not only the booking and the writing, but you have to credit Brock for that too, because Brock made Braun look like the monster that he is, and the monster that we're supposed to believe he is.
This is the match where Brock fucking rocks Braun too. Remember, I don't know if you picked it up, and where Braun was throwing a little bit too stiff, and Brock just got up and punched him in the face and dropped him.
A little bit of a receipt, yeah. But there's spots that just like this was the Braun show. Like don't get me wrong, where Roman had his moments. Joe was there, but this was the Braun show. This match was meant to make Braun look really strong. There's a great spot where he puts Lesnar through a table, then picks him up, and then puts him through another table, and then goes over and picks up another table and throws it on him. And they bring Lesnar out on a stretcher. They took him out of the match for a good 5-10 minutes. That's incredible. They've never let anybody manhandle Brock the way that he was manhandled, or as I believe it was Corey Graves said, monster handled.
I think I might have to go back and rewatch this match tomorrow.
It's so good. It went from probably not making my list to almost being my number one.
Yeah, great match.
This close. Yeah, I'm a changed man from having watched it.
It shows, because your list has been phenomenal so far.
I wish they could still book Braun that way.
Yeah, it's just too late. It's too late. They dropped the ball. Braun, and I think that's like one of the main reasons why I don't like Braun so much now, is because I just see what could have been and what happened.
The next match I'm going to call my ultimate number 2.
Zeus.
Because not only... Zeus. You stop it. Not only is it number 2 on my SummerSlam main event list, it would definitely be number 2 on my greatest Hell in a Cell matches of all time list.
Wow, this is a big spot for this match.
I love this match.
It's a
I've
great
always
match.
loved this match. This is my second favorite, second only. Fuck you, Anthony. Second only to the original. This is my favorite Hell in a Cell match. Of
Great
course,
match.
we're talking about the Undertaker versus Edge in 2008.
Yeah, this
Do
was
you
great.
not? Do you not agree that this is a number 2 caliber match?
I don't know. I have to do a little bit more research. It's definitely on my list. Might be in my number 4 spot. I have to go back and rewatch some matches, but I'm not also going to put up a stink that it's at your number 2 either, because it's a great fucking match.
The storytelling in this, Edge, just give it to Edge, man. While I think Undertaker is in my top 5 greatest psychologists of all time, I do think that Adam Copeland could be up there as far as storytellers. So you put one of the best psychologists versus one of the best storytellers inside of a structure that tells a story on its own, you have magic. And this is, of course, you and I have talked about this 1,000 times. This is before the Hell in a Cell was just used as a monthly, cash grab, or a yearly cash grab, I should say. This is when the Hell in a Cell was used for a blood feud.
Yeah.
These two hated each other by the time this match came.
Well, this was a long feud. This was a combination of a long feud. Yeah, like, just to go off topic for a minute, and I know what your number 1 is going to be, and it has to be. You could make an entire list out of like matches that you couldn't put on your list, and it would still be like, yeah, I get it. That's a hard list.
It was a very hard list.
This might be one of the hardest lists, like, to sit down and try to do.
But yes, I'll agree it's a hard list, but it's also one of those lists where I'm not sitting and going, should I put this? Should I put that? No, I'm actually quite happy with my list.
Your list is good,
and that's
but I'm going back and I'm looking at like 3 or 4 other matches too. I'm like, oh, that could make a case, but oh, that match that you put on was so good. I'm having a hard time with it, but I'm not even upset about it. I'm not even upset about it.
We'll discuss that in a few minutes. Before we do, we need to talk about the standard bearer. Is this match better than anything else on my list?
Yes.
I don't know anymore. But this match has been the standard bearer for SummerSlam since 1992. This is the match that people, not only for SummerSlam, this is the match that
the Intercontinental title, man.
That the people who want to wrestle at that level, this is what they set their standard to. Bret Hart and the British Bulldog, they gained enough trust from Vince McMahon to headline the second biggest show of the year in the biggest show of the year. Let's be honest. In 1992, I'd say SummerSlam was probably a bigger event, a bigger spectacle than WrestleMania was that year.
Oh, I don't know. WrestleMania 8 it's big mania.
Everybody knows how I feel about WrestleMania 8, but it was Wembley.
Well, yeah, this was their biggest paid attendance for years.
And this is what I mean. When they were pushing, I think they pushed Wembley, they pushed SummerSlam way bigger than they pushed WrestleMania.
This was unique though, because like this match only main evented because it was in Wembley. Because on TV
100%.
they did not push this match as the main event.
No.
So basically, what you're saying is that this match was going to be number 1 on your list, whether you wanted it to be or not.
Good call.
Like that.
But there are a handful of matches that I think people like your Daniel Bryans, your CM Punks, your Dax Hardwoods, your Cash Wheelers, your Kenny Omegas, your Will Ospreys. There's a handful of matches that they sit down and be like, that's what I want to do.
If you were making a list,
this is at the top.
if you were making a list of the top 7 most important matches in the history of the Intercontinental title, is this number 1 or number 2? Not best matches, most important. Is Savage Steamboat ahead of this as far as what was important for the title?
No, I think this match
This
takes
is
the
number
cake.
1, eh?
Yeah,
I
really
can't
do think
argue
so.
it.
Because I truly believe, like, if you asked the former generation, you ask your Shawn Michaels, your Chris Jericho's, whatever, those guys who held the title all those years ago, what match was important to them, they're going to say Savage Steamboat. But they didn't have a SummerSlam 92 yet. You go into a generation of today that not only has Savage Steamboat, not only do they have SummerSlam 92, but they also have 30 years more of Intercontinental title matches. They have well over 30 years of matches to watch, to study, to go to. And I guarantee those people are still going to tell you that Brett and Bulldog is the match.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go to that and not Savage Steamboat. I do.
I mean, I love this match.
This is. I gave a lot of thought to this not being my number 1 because what was Cena and Bryan maybe better? I don't know. Was that
Different.
big? Because I'm telling you, man, all those other lists, Sportsters, What Culture, this was number 3 along the board.
Yeah, well, they're idiots. This match, like, what's so impressive about this match is that you could put it in the ring today and people would still like lose their mind about it.
That's what people have been doing. Look at just not long ago, not this match in particular, but it's the same idea. Who was it? Was it the FTR guys fighting against each other? And they basically did 1, 2, 3 and Brett.
I can't remember if it was Brett and Owen they did or Brett and they did.
No,
they...
it was definitely 1, 2, 3 and Brett. I remember that. I just can't remember if it was it Cash and versus Dax?
They had a match where they patterned something. I don't know what the match was, but I know they copied it.
I'm telling you, it was 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Bret Hart.
I just can't see Cash or Daz doing a flip off the top rope to the outside. Okay. I feel like it was Brett and Owen they copied, or Brett and Bulldog. It might have been this match, because they copied the finish of it and they copied some spots out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, huge congratulations to let's call him an acquaintance of the show because our friend of the show, Bronwyn, but Thomas Billington signs with AEW.
Absolutely. So let's talk about a few matches that didn't make my list.
I know your biggest one that didn't make your list.
Okay, well, let's rip the Band-Aid off right there. God damn it, did I want to talk about 1997 today?
Yeah, you just couldn't.
I always want to talk about 1997.
That's fair.
But just because we're not talking about 1997 does not mean that this match does not. Like, this match, I think, would still be my number, like, in my top 10.
Yeah. Right under Zeus.
I still love this match. Undertaker versus Bret Hart. It's a phenomenal match. I love 1997. 1996, Shawn and Vader. I knew we couldn't talk about it, but I loved it as well.
Yeah. How did Austin and Taker hold up? I haven't watched that match in a long time.
I watched it. I didn't rewatch it for this list because I watched it about maybe 2 months ago, and it was okay. That's the Highway to Hell match, right?
Highway to Hell, yeah.
Yeah. It was just okay.
How about I think the biggest one that people might question not being on your list is The Rock and Lesnar.
I don't think it holds up.
I think it's just an okay match too. I agree.
Listen, the name Brock Lesnar comes up for Mr. SummerSlam on a regular basis.
I don't get it.
And is it because he's done, I don't know if it's the most, but close to the most SummerSlam main events?
Yeah.
But he hasn't done the best. Lesnar, let's kind of break some of these down. Lesnar and Taker, I don't think was great.
I didn't like that match either.
Lesnar and Cena, yeah, we got a 16-minute squash match.
That was cool. I'm okay with that.
But it's not a top 7 match.
No, but I would say that was cool. Him and Angle had a good match.
You were there. You were basically ringside for the snooze fest that was Lesnar and Rollins.
Now, to be fair, I was so drunk when I was there, I don't remember it. I had no recollection that Seth Rollins did an elbow drop off the top rope through the table till the next morning.
I find that the pacing of that, I shouldn't call it the snooze fest, just the
I thought it was a good
pacing of
match
the
on a
match is
rewatch.
yeah,
Just
it's paced very slow.
Just a good match. What I'd love to talk to you about with running from Max Dog here. Hi, buddy. Oh, nice kisses. Thank you. Is the Hell in a, or not Hell in a Cell, the Elimination Chamber match.
Elimination Chamber.
I
it's
love
not
this
even close to
match.
my favorite Elimination Chamber match. It's
You know, I feel like we argued about this on our Randy Orton
I think
SummerSlam
yeah.
list. And also, where's Randy Orton versus Chris Benoit? I love that match.
Again, to me, it's just an okay match. I don't think Randy had even come close to hitting his stride yet.
Fair. I only have one other match that I question to put on a list, and that would be Team Nexus versus Team WWE. That was an awesome match with the wrong guy went over.
Yeah, I know you love that match. Yeah, is what it was.
I think it's a fantastic main event. I would have consideration for that being in my number 7 spot, big time.
Do you know what else came in big consideration for coming close? Was Cena versus Edge, 2006.
Yeah, great feud, good match. Yeah, I mean, it's all.
So I'm looking at my honorable mentions. 2000, The Rock, Triple H, and Kurt Angle had a really fun triple threat match.
They did have a fun, especially because Angle was so doped out of it for getting that concussion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's pretty much sums it all up. SummerSlam 88, the first main event, also is very good.
You know what? I will give Brock one more match. I enjoyed his match with Triple H.
I was a big fan. His match with CM Punk, banger.
I don't remember that match.
Brock's on the top 7 best SummerSlam performers of all time. If I'm putting a list together, yeah, Brock's in top 7. He's making the list.
Sure. He's not Mr. SummerSlam.
No, Bret Hart is.
No, thank you. Many people will call him Mr. SummerSlam.
Bret Hart, Seth Rollins.
I'm not about it.
Hulk Hogan is a Mr. SummerSlam, undefeated at SummerSlam.
I won't fight you there.
His match quality might not be the greatest, but I mean, Taker had a lot of stinkers at WrestleMania too.
No, not unless it's 2005
or 89. Zeus.
Stop it. This is becoming your new.
Mike, nobody can hear you when you say that. Okay, if you're gonna do it, do it right. It's. I'm just gonna.
How I feel when you do it. Nobody can hear you.
I could hear you. I just wanted to say it because you said it. That's all I'm gonna do at my bachelor parties. Just get drunk and follow you around and yell "Sting" the entire time. I'm gonna make you wish that you're back at home being a dad instead of escaping from reality for the weekend.
I'm gonna wait till you pass out. I'm gonna put you on a mattress and send you out.
I don't pass out. You know, actually, I'm a little older now. I go to bed earlier, so I might pass out.
You're going to pass out.
I don't pass out. I listen.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, 2 weeks ago at the airing of this, or no, last week, Wilson and I drank until I don't even know what time. We were so drunk, blackout drunk. Then we came home, ordered Domino's Pizza. Shout out Barry Wrestling, great sponsor. And we watched SummerSlam until 4 o'clock in the morning. And I only fell asleep during the last match. That's pretty good.
I don't know, man.
And it was only for a little bit. Wilson woke me up. I dozed off for probably 5 minutes during the main event. Now, do I remember 90% of what happened at SummerSlam? No. But was I awake for it? Yes.
I was gonna say you passed it. I was gonna mention 3 different times you passed out, but I'm pretty sure that's just me. I think I passed out.
You pass out, absolutely. I'm doing Count It Out to Dark by myself.
I don't even need to be drunk to pass out.
That is fair. That is fair. You've passed out during a live stream once.
I did. But I was drunk. I was very drunk.
That's fair.
Speaking of being drunk, that'll be us in just a couple days.
Hell yeah.
We're going to go and
24 hours from right now.
give you a big old bachelor party. All right, in the middle of nowhere. Oof. I'm going to pretend for 3 days that I have no wife, no kids. No
You have a
job.
middle child that you will be attending to at this.
Yeah, I'm going to. You can be the Dom to my Rey Mysterio. I'm going to be a deadbeat dad. I am
Fair
not
enough.
taking care of you this weekend.
Well, as long as we can watch Reverso versus Johnny Swinger and Zeus
I'm down with that any time of the week, man.
and Zeus, then let's get her going.
Stop with the Zeus.
All right. Well, I think that's
anything
good
else?
for this week. Nah, man, take us home. You still remember how to do it?
I'll do my best. I couldn't even do it a couple weeks ago when I did it with Emilio. Oh, this felt good. I'm glad we're getting back to. We got the band back together.
It was much needed.
All right, I'll see you in the 4 weeks.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, you're uninvited. Actually, no, you made a good list. I'll take next week off. You can come back.
Very good. I did make a good list.
You
Good.
did, and it pains me because I was really excited. I hate when you do good.
What are you doing next week?
I don't know yet. I'll tell you. I'll tell
know
you
what?
like an hour before we record. Hopefully, we have a guest next week.
Before I don't say that, we're gonna lose Rob again. Before I end this, I do want to say one thing, and I want to hear your opinion on this. I was this close. I was gonna do, because of the announcement of Bad Blood being the next pay-per-view, I was gonna do best 7 matches at Bad Blood, but there are 7 good matches at Bad Blood.
I swear we did that list already.
There's no way we did. There's no way we did, because I looked at all 3. Because there's only 3 Bad Blood cards, and pretty much all 3 of them are 1 match cards. Ridiculous.
Yeah, I can only remember 2 of them. I know Michaels and Orton have a banger match on one of the Bad Bloods. I'm thinking
Sean has a good match on all the Bad Bloods, because he faces Triple H on the one.
Yeah, that was a great match. Hell in a Cell.
Faces Triple H, faces Taker. Like Michaels is Mr. Bad Blood. But other than that, ugh, just horrible.
Maybe it wasn't Orton. Either way, I think I'm mixing up matches. I'm thinking of Unforgiven.
Well, the next time I see you will actually not be on the Zoom screen, and we'll be very drunk. After that, we'll be back right here. And until we get back, spend your time hitting these buttons. Subscribe, like.
I think they're up here.
Share. There? Oh. Somewhere. Just hit the buttons. Hit that little bell. Whatever, if you're listening on Spotify, hit the subscribe button. Give us a review. No one gives us reviews. Give us a review.
I don't know if we're ready for that. But
yeah,
be nice, because we're sensitive and we take everything personal.
Very true. But do all that. We'll see you next week. And until then, you've been counted out.
Cheers.